Now, there's been a lot of speculation about Russia launching a spring offensive in Ukraine, but the stark reality tonight is that Russian attacks are already growing in intensity in the eastern Donbas area, a reality acknowledged today by NATO's Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg. This is the current state of the conflict in Ukraine, with Russian forces controlling the area highlighted in red. In recent days, there have been signs of a new offensive beginning to take shape, in particular around the city of Bakhmut, where Russian forces have been increasing their attacks, and further south in Vulhedar, where the cost in death and injury is significant on both sides.
The presence of drones above the battlefield gives an extraordinary view of the tank battles now raging in eastern Ukraine. Here, columns of Russian armoured vehicles taking cover behind a long row of trees as they prepare to attack the town of Vulhedar in the east. The damage inflicted by Ukrainian artillery can't be accurately assessed, but the pictures suggest it may have been considerable. And not just from artillery, anti-tank mines are taking their toll of Russian armour as they push incrementally eastwards. But the cost is so high, even Russian servicemen are circulating videos. It's the same all the way up this road, says the man filming this destroyed armoured column. Despite the losses they're inflicting, the Ukrainians are not winning in the east. Men like these, fighting a rearguard action to hold on to the city of Bakhmut, are suffering terribly. We will kill them all, he promises, but the reality is that Bakhmut could soon be in Russian hands. How serious would it be if Bakhmut is lost?
We just move back on these positions and continue to defend and continue to stop these attacks and these assaults of Russians.
But how strategic is that position?
No, I think that will not have a huge influence on our strategic positions in our defense on the east.
Away from the front lines, this war is increasingly turning into a contest of industrial production. This Russian footage aimed at recruiting people to work in the tank industry, as the country struggles to replace its mounting losses. But in the West too, NATO's Secretary-General warned today the war can't be won without significantly upping weapon production.
The war in Ukraine is consuming an enormous amount of ammunition and depleting Allied stockpiles. The current rate of Ukraine's ammunition expenditure is many times higher than our current rate of production.
Ukrainian crews were today being trained in Poland on the German-built Leopard 2 tanks that should be delivered as soon as next month. No one doubts the quality of the Western weapons that are being supplied to Ukraine, but there are questions about whether the quantity will be sufficient to give the Ukrainians a chance of victory. James Mates, News at 10, Kiev.